Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So I'm back, and I'm here to talk about Bitcoin. Is the worst over for Bitcoin? Last few days, a lot of volatility. Let me explain what happened today and what to expect tomorrow. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. I'm back from my week-long trip. Man, it was a long time. But you know what? Bitcoin's been rocky, up and down. It's not like I haven't been putting out videos. So I've been keeping you guys informed of what's going on. But today, we saw Bitcoin go all the way down to about 62,000. It looked like it was going to continue into the 50s. And yet, we then had a pretty good bounce back up to about 65.6. And now we're hovering around 64.7, right? So again, overall, we're still going sideways, but we are definitely seeing some volatility right now, right? We have seen Bitcoin hit to 63.7 quite some time, many times. What is driving things right now? What's making it so wacky, right? And the alts have took an absolute beating over the last few days as well. Well, if you're looking at a U.S. market, this kind of explains things. The U.S. market today was absolutely horrendous. Minus 500, minus 400 for NASDAQ as Wall Street continues to sell off tech on assets, or risk on assets. Really, tech, okay? Just look at this. The Magnificent Seven erased $400 billion today, and over the last few weeks has shedded over $1 trillion. You have the likes of Nvidia that is selling off like crazy. Look at it, almost 8% today. AMD. You got so many others. Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. Everyone is selling off today. So Wall Street is definitely selling off a lot of risk on assets. Okay. And normally speaking, Wall Street does this because they're very reactive. They do this when they anticipate recession is near or is coming. Okay. And, you know, it's a weird period because normally speaking, when we have bad economic data, we usually see actually Wall Street buy because it actually prompts or it gives a better chance of a rate cut, right? That's what we've been seeing for many months. But since we have to wait until September, there's nothing coming up between now and like mid-September, right? So today we got some bad economic data. Jobless claims went higher than expected. So obviously when more people are on unemployment, that's a bad thing. And then we also had something like manufacturing index showing that we are slowing down. Lowest level since November 2023, and jobless claims is the highest since June 2023, right? So we're seeing some very bad economic data here in the US. Unfortunately, this is what Powell wants to see. Powell wants to see more slowness in the economy, right? Before really cutting rates. A lot of people thought that maybe he should have cut yesterday because the numbers are starting to trickle in, and keep in mind, these are lagging indicators. They're measuring what has happened before. And, you know, they're turning out pretty bad. But like I said before, when we have bad economic data like this, actually Wall Street goes up or starts buying because they're anticipating a rate cut. But now that we have all this bad economic data and the rate cut's not coming until September, it's making Wall Street do what they're actually supposed to be doing, which is selling off because they're afraid that recession is actually going to come. That's not what we want to see. I thought we were done with all the recession talks, but there are now more fears about recession once again, right? And that's why tomorrow, right now, if you look at the futures market for tomorrow, it's not looking good either, because tomorrow we're going to get another economic data, which is the jobs report. And we want to see, are we going to add jobs, or are we going to show, since jobless claims went up today, are we going to show jobs actually slowing down too? Maybe come in under expectations. And all of this, of course, is no good. No good, leading up to possibly recession, right? So that's kind of what's happening. And obviously we had more war talk break out yesterday, and we have a lot of FUD around the Department of Justice selling off Bitcoin too. And of course, Mt. Gox FUD. Right now, unfortunately, we got a whole bunch of FUD coming in all at the same time once again, right? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. But you know, here's the thing. And this is what I've always been saying. Here's the thing. With all the FUD, where are we? Where is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, if you zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out, we're still basically going sideways. With all the FUD that has been happening, you would figure Bitcoin would be a lot lower, right? Actually, in fact, we were at 53,000 earlier in July. So it's not like we haven't seen dips before. We're way higher than that 53,000. And again, when you zoom out, you realize, okay, overall, despite all the nasty FUD out there, Bitcoin is actually still doing quite well. We're just going sideways. You could say we're still consolidating. We really haven't been pumping or dumping. Again, just going sideways, and we're recovering up from our recent bottom of $53,000, right? So that's the thing. You got to put things in perspective. Near term, if you're looking at the market daily or by minute and you're checking your portfolio every single second, it's going to suck. But if you're in it for the long haul and you understand Bitcoin is the true asset and the greatest asset we have and the greatest network we have, then you really have no fear, especially when you zoom out, especially when you know why Bitcoin is so important, right? And so many are starting to realize that. Even today, VanEck CEO did an interview and said that Bitcoin will be at least half of the market cap of gold and will break $350,000. And look at the headline right there. And by 2050, which is in 26 years, yes, it's a little bit, he's expecting Bitcoin to be close to $3 million because he understands. And they have more than 30% of their portfolio in Bitcoin. Not quite up to 50%, but for a major corporation, that's saying a whole lot, right? And they have a ton of funds and one of the biggest fund managers out there. So he definitely understands. So people that truly understand, what do they do with all this FUD? All they do is just ignore it, and then they continue to hold on DCA. That's really it. That's all you have to do. And if you can't DCA, well, then just continue to hold them. That's how it works. You got to ignore the short-term volatility. And more people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is the one true asset to hold. Even outside of Bitcoin, the usual Bitcoin OGs, you're starting to see fund managers and asset managers and companies around the world that are embracing a Bitcoin strategy because they're starting to understand. So VanEck, they understand, VanEck, whatever. Of course, Michael Saylor understands, right? He's been in it since 2020. He purchased another 169 Bitcoin last month, which isn't a whole lot considering how much he has already, 226,500. But the exciting news is he announced that he's going to be raising another $2 billion to buy more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor understands. Wall Street understands. Okay? People that truly understand do not have any panic. In fact, they're looking forward to lower prices so they can continue to accumulate more and buy more, right? And like I said, it's not just like OGs. I guess you could consider Saylor OG now. He got in 2020. But there are many others that got in way earlier than 2020. But even the newcomers in this space, especially the big money, especially the whales, I've been telling you guys this, you got to just follow the ETFs. They have been loading up, okay? I mean, here's the ETF flow table. And Grayscale does have a new one, right? We know that GBDC has been selling off, but they came out with another one just called BTC Grayscale. And today they had a massive $191 million inflow. We don't have the numbers from BlackRock yet, but as you can see, 21 million, 75 million, 205 million, 23 million, 70 million, 60, you go on and on and on. BlackRock accumulated since what, 2 weeks ago, 20,000 Bitcoin. While Grayscale sold off 19,000, BlackRock alone took in 20,000 Bitcoin. Think about that. Basically, everything that went out of Grayscale went into BlackRock. And this doesn't even count for all the others, like the 10,000 from Fidelity, 2,000 from ARK, 2,500 from Bitwise, and so forth, right? So even the newcomers, even the new money, the big money, the smart money, the institutions, they realize that this is a golden opportunity to load up. They are playing catch up. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is created for retail. Retail investors led the way. Now they're trying to play catch up and they're buying enormous amount of Bitcoins behind the scenes, even with all the volatility. And you can make the argument they're buying more because of volatility, because if there is a chance of a recession or debasing of fiat, right? Or economic uncertainty due to geopolitical factors. All of these things actually strengthen the case why one should hold Bitcoin. That's why they're actually loading up more. So you just have to follow the numbers and look at what these guys are doing, right? Not what retail is doing. Unfortunately, a lot of retail investors, they have paper hands, they have lettuce hands, they will continue to dump because they're so fearful. But the big boys aren't. Big boys continue to load up. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Buy when blood are in the streets. But to put that into perspective once again, like I said, when in doubt, zoom out and you realize that 65,000 Bitcoin, 64,000 Bitcoin is way better than the 53,000 Bitcoin we were just at a month ago. So things aren't as bad as they seem. And of course, if you're looking at some of the charts, you're looking at our current movement, right? You're just noticing the same patterns over and over and over and over again. I've shown these so many times over so many years. And you look at what transpired before in the last cycle, 2020, 2021, before we went up to 69,000, we had the same kind of consolidation. We had the same kind of volatility. We had the same kind of FUD, different FUD, but we had FUD nevertheless. And what happened? We broke through all that and everyone forgot. Everyone forgot that Bitcoin fell to 3,800 in 2020. Forgot that we were stuck below 20,000 for months upon months upon months. And we had many nasty falls. Actually, in fact, we couldn't even break 10,000 for many months. People forget that. And look at where we are now with people fearful about Bitcoin at 64, 65,000. How things have changed drastically within just 4 years, right? So again, when in doubt, zoom out and realize that Bitcoin has done very well over the last few years, even very well compared to the last few months, and will get better as we move forward, right? And here's another chart showing Bitcoin is going to break out of this space. There's just a lot. There's a lot, okay? A lot of charts. Here's a broadening wedge, right? Showing that Bitcoin, again, is breaking out next level, what? 100,000. But at the end of this cycle, where is it going to be? 250,000. There are so many patterns that show that we are heading up to not only 6 digits, but well above 6 digits. Like what VanEck said, VanEck said, John VanEck. He says Bitcoin will be half of gold, $350,000, right? That's not just some random analyst. It's not just some guy on Twitter. This is the CEO of one of the largest fund companies on the planet, right? This is coming from him. This is not, again, not some random analyst on X. This is coming from someone that is, I don't know, a billionaire, someone that has been in the space for many, 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 many months. And even in this interview, if you listen into it, the interviewer asked him, like, where would you put your personal money, right? And he's like, I like long-term growth assets. And he says, I think there's nothing better than Bitcoin because it's moving the same way as gold is. I mean, basically, he's like all in on Bitcoin, right? So if you truly understand what Bitcoin's about, you have no fear. You probably welcome the FUD. You welcome the dip so that you can accumulate more. That's really it. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I haven't done this for a while. Let me change this back. Let's do some Q&A. Jack Atkins is sending crazy amount of super chats. A $30 one, a $15 one, $8 one, $3 one, $151, $2 one. Thank you. I appreciate all the super chats. Also, Jeff Warden gifted 5 memberships. Appreciate it. And then scrolling upwards, Frank Nardello asked, was curious what do you think about Aptos? Not a big fan of Aptos, Frank. They were very hyped up in 2021, but I don't hear a lot about Aptos right now. And Rich, I'm glad to be back. You know, like I don't like traveling for extended periods. I was gone for like 8 days, 9 days, whatever, how many days. Too long. Los asks, how do you know when you DCA'd enough? I don't think there's a right answer to that. No, that right answer is you can never DCA enough. Alan, glad to see you're here. Hopefully you had a good time in Nashville. I did. I thought it was pretty exciting. I thought we did a lot of good stuff. Ultimate athlete performance. You know what? You can think all you want. All I'm here to do is keep hope, okay, in people. Make sure that they don't sell. Make sure that they continue to see the light and hodl, right? If you don't agree with that and you get no value, then you don't need to be here. But for everyone else, especially everyone I met at the Bitcoin conference, they've thanked me for that. They understand that. I don't have a magic 8-ball. I can't tell you exactly when something's going to pump, when the high is coming, when the low is coming. But what I can tell you is this. The ultimate strategy, actually the only strategy when it comes to Bitcoin, is hold on DCA. That's it. Don't try to time anything. Just hold on DCA. That's really all you have to do. My DCA portfolio, which I missed, I didn't DCA yesterday, obviously, but my DCA portfolio even proves that. Been doing it since 2021, and in my own personal portfolio, I've been doing it since earlier than that, since 2017. Rich, did you like Nashville? A lot of my friends from California are leaving CA for Nashville and Austin. I'm leaving the dollar for Bitcoin. Nashville like has this one very popular street, and it's like where all the restaurants and bars and stuff are, and it's cool, but like I wouldn't say it's somewhere I would go. Like if I lived there, I wouldn't go there all the time. But it does feel very exciting. If you like country music, especially, Yeah, but outside of Nashville, I don't know. It's like, it's okay. I was hanging out in Smoky Mountains, you know, did some outdoor stuff, did some tourist stuff. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's better than, say, San Diego, for example, or some of the other more popular places. Austin, I didn't really go out much. Austin City, I hung out, and it wasn't that impressive. I think Nashville had more to do than Austin. So was being in the South as bad as you feared? No, I don't even know if Nashville's considered being in the South, to be honest. MoveOn says, I'm the first guy who asked you about Arrow before it went parabolic. Now I'm asking about Ramsey Exchange RAM on Arbitrum. Thanks. You don't need to ask me about it because obviously I'd never heard of it. And second of all, congratulations on Arrow. If you're that good, you don't need to ask me about it, and you could go ahead and load up on it. And if you're right the second time, congratulations. Yeah, I'm not sure if Nashville is really considered South. It kind of has that Southern feel, but it's like, I'm not quite sure it's there yet. Don't forget there's no state tax in Tennessee. That's good to know. Same thing with Texas. Do I hold XRP? No. How's the barbecue in Nashville compared to Austin? I'll say Austin barbecue was fantastic. I had some pulled pork that was better than any I've ever had. Nashville, I didn't really have a lot. I had some ribs and stuff. Wasn't that good. I'd say Austin barbecue is better than Nashville barbecue. But then again, I may have not gone to all the right places. Ed asks, I'm all in on Bitcoin. I'm up 140%. But with all the institutions, countries that can dump on exchanges, OTC, whatever they want to bring Bitcoin down, it's hard to think positive some days. They could, but are they going to? Why wouldn't you think that about dollars? The dollar is being dumped on every single day by the Fed and Treasury and Powell and the U.S. government. So why are you not down thinking about that? Because for sure, if you sold off your Bitcoin and you hold fiat, that's exactly what's happening every day. Dark Empyrean, isn't ICP the one true chain since it's 100% on chain? That makes no sense. That makes zero sense what you just said. And the answer is no. Thoughts on Bitcoin finally breaking out September? Yes. XRP is going back to the second largest crypto like previously. We will see. I guess you never want to say never, but I'm going to say never again. Joe Lagos, what are your thoughts on Multiverse X? They claim to be better Solana, but I don't believe it personally. I don't know who you're hearing that from. But no. Thoughts on BTC maximalism? Nothing else appealing to me right now. If you want to be a Bitcoin maxi, Well, here's the thing. There's a difference between just holding Bitcoin and Bitcoin maxis. Okay, Bitcoin maxis are like they're like a cult, uh, and they attack everything, right? But you don't need to be like that. Holding Bitcoin is actually smart for many reasons, right? Especially during downturns, Bitcoin holds the best, and one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin, no matter what the dollar value is. But if you're holding, let's say, 100 Solana or 100 Cardano or 100 XRP, and it goes down more than Bitcoin, then you're losing against Bitcoin, and that sucks. And I know, like I hate it, and I know a lot of you guys hate it. So that's why a lot of days you're like, man, what am I doing? I should just hold all Bitcoin, right? But based on history, based on previous cycles, based on previous altcoin cycles or altcoin seasons, it is advantageous to hold some alts because when they blow up, they move fast in Bitcoin. So essentially it helps you gain more Bitcoin, right? So that's the theory, but maybe the cycle changes. Maybe alts don't outperform Bitcoin because of all the institutions. Are you concerned, Dan A is asking, George, are you concerned about the hype or tech behind a project? Are you more concerned about the hype or tech? Hype. There are a lot of great chains out there. Super tech, no hype, means no momentum, means no one knows about them, means that they never do anything. Unfortunately, hype is more important than tech. But if you have both, that's the best, obviously. He was right. ICP, everything's on chain. NFT games, everything's the only chain where everything's on chain. Okay, what about the fact that it's... I'm not going to say anything bad about ICP. Those of you guys that are ICP fans, you can continue to believe in it and hold it. Not for me. And there are a lot of other chains that are on chain too. Did you see that California DMV is using the Avalanche? Yes, I reported that yesterday. It seems like when I'm traveling, I put out videos. A lot of people don't watch them for some reason. I haven't been away. I've been putting videos every day, but it seems like people think that I've been gone for a week. I haven't. I've been putting out videos. I even streamed once. Crazy to see, Rich says, crazy to see how far Bitcoin has come over the last 4 years. Adoption is crazy to see ex-president back Bitcoin. Who would have thought? Exciting. It is. It's so different now versus before. Way, way different than before. So you just can't help be bullish at this point. Christopher, thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine? I liked it. It wasn't like, if I had to rate it 1 through 10, I would give it like more like an 8, 8.5. It wasn't as like mind blowing as like Endgame, where it's like 10 out of 10, but it was still very good. It's the best Marvel film since probably Endgame. Yeah, but Marvel's like scrambling right now. They just redid their next Avengers to have Robert Downey Jr. as like Doctor Doom. Like, he can't play anything else other than Iron Man. But Marvel's so desperate, they brought him back to be Doom to replace King. That's a very desperate move. Chris Cunningham, I appreciate that. 100K party still active. See, the thing is, yes, because there's no time frame for that. The 100K could come this month. It could come December. It could come next year. 100K is 100K. It doesn't change. T. Dillard says, I'm not sure what's going on, but I do love to hold on stack. That's all you have to do. Holding and DCing. Did you see the Olympic man boxer fighting as a girl? I did see that, and somehow France allowed it. I don't know. There's a lot of controversy. I don't want to really get too much into it, but like, you know, it just yeah, it in my opinion it should never have been allowed. Let's just put it that way. It's just I don't know. See, this is a part of the problem that we as a society is going through now. Anyways, yeah, it was kind of a disgrace. Did you see the new M5 hybrid and thoughts? I did, but it added 1,000 pounds for a sedan, like 1,100 pounds to make it a hybrid. I don't know if the trade-off is worth it. It added a whole bunch of power, but it added 1,100 pounds to a sedan. Yeah. Let's stay away from that Olympic topic. I don't know. I'm glad to see a dream team. I don't know if they call it dream team, but the men's basketball doing well. LeBron leading the way at an age of 39 or 40. He's still the best player on the team. Again, for all the LeBron haters, you just cannot discount the fact that his longevity is mind-boggling, and on a team of the best there is, he's still the best. I mean, that's just crazy. This is crazy to think about. I did not watch the opening ceremony. I heard it was very cringe. So, yeah. I saw a lot of Cybertrucks in Nashville. A lot of them. Yeah. You know, just don't get an EV truck. Okay, I just feel like you don't need to have an EV truck. If you want a truck, get a nice gas powered or diesel powered truck. You don't need no EV truck. Like when I was in the Smoky Mountains, I was looking at like it literally took an hour and a half to get to the peak. Okay, so many twists and bends, right? Like, if you were driving a Cybertruck, you would be out of range by the time you got up there. There's no way with the grade, you know, the grade is completely like, I don't know, 30%, 40% grade all the way through. And so many bends and twists. There's just no way any of the EV trucks could have made it up there. And I saw no EV trucks on the peak, right? There are situations, especially if you're towing. Forget about it. You run out of range like a quarter way through. There's no reason for EV trucks. If you want to get a nice EV sedan, you want to get an EV sports car, whatever. But for trucks, if you're going to haul, you're going to tow, there's no reason for it. Richard says, Ranger, F-150, Maverick, Tacoma. If I had to pick one, no doubt, F-150. Not even close. Marvel is overusing the multiverse. Yes. Even Deadpool called it out. Have you ever messed around with prediction markets like Polymarket? No, I have not. Duramax or Cummins? I'm not a big diesel guy, so I can't tell you. I'm assuming Cummins should be better, but I'm not actually quite sure. Was Kujira a rug? What happened with it? I have no idea. I have no idea. Joel, you asked me the strangest questions. Like, where did that come from? I haven't heard of Kujira for probably like 2 years until you just asked me now. Like, no one has been asking for it about it. All right, guys. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully it's a happy Friday. Okay, right now, Bitcoin, entire market is dragged down by a lot of FUD. A lot of FUD everywhere, right? Recession FUD, Mt. Gox FUD, government FUD, whatever FUD, right? But the true believers know, okay? This is the time to be loading up. That's it. When in doubt, zoom out, realize that Bitcoin is still moving according to plan. And the big boys are loading up as much as they can. That's really it. Follow what the big money and smart money are doing. Loading up. That's it. So smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, as usual.